Hi, I'm Jeremy Gates, Managing Director of Gaia Construction. We're an award-winning residential builder based in Elwood who specialise in renovations and extensions. Today I'll be discussing home improvements that add the most value and the risk of overcapitalising with property expert Sam Gamon. Sam is one of the directors of Chisholm and Gamon, Bayside's #1 estate agent and auctioneer extraordinaire. Thank you for joining us today, Sam.
Yeah, thanks Jeremy, great pleasure to be here.
If you don't want to do an extension or a first floor renovation, is there any examples where a new kitchen or a bathroom will actually add value?
Yeah, I think there's many examples, especially when you're a townhouse. So you'll find that a townhouse appeals to a buyer that doesn't want to do a lot of work. You know, it tends to be typically your downsizer or your professional couple. So maybe, you know, pre-children, and they want to be in something that's, you know, got a bit of design flair, has a bit of space about it, nice outdoor area. You know, they'd like to be in the cafe lifestyle. So there's a strong appeal for that type of property. And also with the house market having, you know, risen, with prices having risen, you're finding that the townhouse or town residence is really appealing. But again, because people want them with the latest mod cons, after about 10 years, they need a refresh. So 10 to 15 years, and 15 years is probably starting to look quite tired. So when you get to that point, changing the bench tops, refacing a kitchen, or putting in a new kitchen, updating the bathrooms, is actually crucial to getting a better price. Because bearing in mind, you're then competing, you're never in isolation, so you're then competing with properties that are brand new. And whilst they'll be more expensive, some people might just make that jump. So if you can close the gap, and people say, oh, hang on, there's good value there because I'm not paying that premium of brand new, but I'm getting the brand new fittings, then there's a huge appeal for that. And again, you know, that comes down to changing carpets, repainting, you know, all of these things, because there's a greater expectation in our marketplace now for properties to be well presented.
Repainting a house is a relatively cheap thing. You can repaint the interior of a house for $10,000 to $15,000. The same for the external of a house. So for $20,000 to $40,000, you're going to get your money back that quite easily, I presume.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll give you. In fact, I recently sold a house 2 weeks ago, and that particular property was renovated in 2010, so the renovation's 7 to 8 years old. Beautiful house, double-storey Edwardian, 4 to 5 bedrooms, beautifully laid out. So the floor plan worked, tick. House, very pretty, beautiful, but it was very darkly styled inside. So we had them go in and completely repaint the whole house, and we just went, you know, a colour that's vivid white. And that's what's on trend at the moment. And, you know, feature walls, you know, they had dark feature walls too. So in some rooms they had a sort of a darker coffee colour. Well, that has to go. They had gold mirrors. We had them paint the mirrors white. You know, and so all of a sudden the whole house brightened up. And what they also did, which is something that that a builder helped them with, is to put skylights in. So they added skylights in the hallway in one of the bedrooms, the darkest of the bedrooms. All of these things transformed the home. And it was simple things too, like they, you know, replaced some tiling in one of the bathrooms. They repolished the benches. You know, they just lifted it and refreshed it. And in what happened was that they had a failed campaign with another agency in 3 years prior, and they didn't receive a single offer. They went through this process of taking an advice, and they sold the home for $100,000 more than they were expecting, and they sold it within 2 weeks.
There you go.
So, you know, it's a game changer. And the evidence is there, and the case studies are there. And so that's why I always encourage people. You know, it's that, okay, it's basics. Spend money to make money, but spend it in the right areas. Let's not spend it in the wrong areas, but do it in a measured, sensible way.
Thank you very much for that. That's a wealth of information for our audience. I'm Jeremy Gates from Gaia Construction. I hope that was useful for you, and if you're looking for some building work in Elwood, please give us a call.